So hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is another kit review. You know that I have a thing now for the, not now, no, since several years now, for the Swedish Air Force, and I just found a bargain price for this special box that is the Jas39D Gripen. Is the twin-seater of the one of the nicest plane ever. Look at this picture. The plane is something. Look like a cartoon plane. Fantastic. Probably even nicer in the twin-seater version than the single-seater. You know, look even more elegant, even more sleeker. Super plane. Really, I really like it so much. Also the double front tire in the front, in the main landing gear, and this is the best choice provided by MPM, Czechoslovakian company. That basically features, and then we will see that inside, the only mold around in 1/48 scale of this model were back in time the Italeri one and the Kitty Hawk model. You know, I bought all of them, and right now I sold the Kitty Hawk because the Kitty Hawk model, they look extremely nice from the overall look of the box. You know, when you open the box, there is this fuselage divided in 3-4 pieces, but even this division make it extremely complicated to place it back in the same in the correct position to have the proper shape of the plane. And when you work on an arrow like this plane is, it's extremely easy to lose that shape, you know. So I didn't think it was worth it, honestly, what they asked for, because the model became quite pricey. You know, the Kitty Hawk models are constantly around, at least on the Italian market, they were around 70 to 80 euros, so it's quite pricey, you know, pricey stuff. Instead, one excellent opportunity to build it up like they are, you know, very simple, very basic. We are talking of a different level of model, is to choose the Italeri models, you know. And indeed, what you find inside this box is basically the Italeri plastic. You know, Italeri made the mold both of the single Gripen and the twin-seater Gripen. You know, the Jas39A C were the single version, A/C. The A being the first one, the C being the latest one. You know, with the improved avionics and a slight difference in the fuselage, like this part over there, but it's minor details. You know, it's not something that changed completely the shape of the plane. You know, became different when you're talking of the newest Jas39E, the newest Gripen, the Super Gripen, is slightly bigger in dimension, so it became a little different than the ordinary Gripen. And as you can see, you know, on the box here, they mention exactly what they had inside it. You know, first of all, they think they made this type of boxes about 10 years ago. And as I say, they became quite pricey and rare, you know, because it's a special box made by MPM. So instead of making their own mold in a short run, MPM is famous to make short run models, you know, and the quality of the plastic is something. I don't dare to say that they are bad, but they are unique, you know, because they made several planes that nobody else does. But sometimes it seems really to work like vacuum former planes or racing planes, so the quality is not so good like we are used to having the recent Tamiya stuff, or with the details of Trumpeter or Hobby Boss, you know, the type of model. For the detail, they have other issues, you know, but MPM doesn't work in that direction. So probably was the best, really the best choice ever to have the plastics from Italeri, and write it completely on a side on the box that I just seen before. You see what's inside the box. So you will have Italeri plastic parts, correct. So the Italeri bags. Then you have a full set of CMK. CMK is a Czechoslovakian company making racing details for planes, tanks, and a lot. Very good company. You like IRS, the guys down there, they really know how to do stuff, you know, and they provide a racing detail for the cockpit. That was exactly the part that the Italeri model lacks. The undercarriage bay, that also the Italeri model is a shit. The aerials, well, the aerials is something, because honestly, depends. You can also make it from the plastic, you know, with a little scratch build. The wheels, of course, they are much nicer, made by CNK. The jet pipe, that is another critical point in the Italeri model. The air brakes, this is something that they made itself, because they made incredibly nice in the racing part. But if you look at the picture, including the presentation picture on the box they have, you see they are constantly closed. They never seen one picture of them open, and also it fakes a little the final line of the model. So if you make them open, the air brakes will, like in the F104, they will fake a little the line of the tail of the plane. So I probably will not use it. The weapon pilot, that of course in the Italeri are crap. and the legs, of course, are made in metal, so they are much more detailed. There is a nicer vacuum formed detailed part that I will see later. And the combo photo-etcher part, because one of the main difference between the first edition of the Gripen A and B, A being the single-seater, B being the twin-seater of the early version, and the CD of the latest version, is indeed about the cockpit dash that became much more modern. If you see the dash, I see that recently in a museum, the dash of the first Gripen to the last Gripen is really an abyss, like to see the dash from the early F-16 to the late F-16, even more in the Gripen, so it's much more modern. And this is absolutely well done, because then you will have a lot less of a problem trying to convert an A version to a B version, sorry, being a twin-seater, this one, because I already have everything for the single-seater up in Sweden, and so it's much more easy to modify. Then the decal sheet, and this is one lack in my box, because this was, yes, a bargain price, but the dealer, that was a friend, you know, a long-time friend, he also honestly told me, Paolo, you will get it at a very, very fair price. I don't tell you how much I paid this shit, because it's really, really a good bargain. I mean, a bargain that you neither buy a racing cockpit for the price that I pay all this stuff. And as you see, the decal sheet contains markings for the Swedish, Czech, Hungarian, and South African Air Force. Well, in this I am a little on my side, you know, because I love this plane for personal reasons. So they are Swedish planes. I love Sweden, you know, that I live in Sweden mostly of the year, and I want it to be badly Swedish. So for me it's okay, because the company, the MPM company, they made this kind of effort to produce this masterpiece, because the Czechoslovakian Air Force, MPM, are from Czechoslovakia, and the Czech Air Force uses the Gripen as well as the Hungarian Air Force. So it is something of that side of Europe that have them, and they are able to produce this type of model. Instead, Italeri just made it like back in time, like an article, just to place it more in the catalog, you know, much bigger company, so the purpose was that. But in my opinion, the Gripen only exists like a Swedish plane, a Svenska fleet, no other planes, you know, Swedish plane. So maximum respect for all the other guys in Europe, in South Africa. There is also, I think, Brazil, Ecuador, other countries that have this stuff. But for me, the Jas, the sub, is the Gripen, Trollhättan, Sweden, Svezia, cazzo, Svezia, cazzo. No, paesi del cazzo, Svezia. Sorry for that. And the correct color reference, and very, very interesting, because they provide a very, very detailed stuff inside. And okay, this is funny, limited edition, 1,000 pieces. For me, limited edition can be 99 pieces, but 1,000 pieces, okay, we are limited to 1,000. Think at a room with 1,000 people inside, you know. Oh, well. So what's inside, as I said, you have this part that is extremely nice and extremely interesting, you know, very, very detailed, basically presenting the plastic and all the part that you don't need to use, the seat belt, the ejection seats, and the ugly exhaust. I already made a review, I think, on the channel about the Italeri ordinary single-seater, you know. So they basically changed all the part that became a little bit crap in the plastic from Italeri, because as we know, Italeri have a problem on the machine molding plastic, so they cannot go in the same exactly detail level like the modern company like Tamiya and Trumpeter do. So that's why usually the smallest part and the smallest detailed part cannot become so nice like in the other model provided by other companies, and that's why. That's the part that you have to cut. As I said, probably everything is interesting apart from the air brakes that I don't think I will touch. This is the presentation of the cockpit with the LCD display and so on. Became pretty nice, pretty clean, wonderful paper, also much nicer than the toilet paper used inside the ordinary Italeri kit. Very, very clear. So the instruction is dump proof, it's impossible to make a mess. They explain how to work with the transparent part provided in vacuum form, how to add the seat belts. Very, very, very interesting, you know. Then there is this manual, that it is this is all stuff that when you add inside model, this costs quite big money for them to produce, you know. Is a flyer, of course, but is a flyer printed in color with all the details that they add. Is the critical part of the plane. You see how nice it is done. It's neither not so easy in Sweden to find the real actual planes working where you are allowed to take pictures this way, because I've seen in several air show you can see the plane, but they are not allowing you to take a detailed picture of the stuff that you need. You can take picture from quite far away when they are operative planes, not when they are museum planes. So when they are new stuff, they are not so happy if you take so so many pictures and so on. And this is the painting scheme. As I say, this is mostly about, they have wonderful decal and wonderful livery for the Czechoslovakian Air Force and Hungary, you know, with symbols and whatsoever, and writing in English and so on. But for me, you see also, this is the South Africa version, but for me, the Gripen, bara Sweden, just Sweden. Bara svensk, flygvapnet, Flottille H, I think it is. It is the flying group number 7, the one that used to fly over my house in Sweden. So I badly love this stuff, you know. And you see also the South African plane had that feature, and that also the A10 and the modern, I think also F-18 and the A10 have the fake canopy to fake it down, to fake it from the ground, the direction of the plane, because it looked like a fake canopy, so you don't know if the plane is turning left or right. So it's nice and interesting, you know. The livery is absolutely nice. Also the Brazilian, honestly, is very, very nice. It's just me, as I say, that have I love Svenska Flygvapnet, quindi I love the Swedish Air Force, so it have to be Swedish Air Force in my opinion. Very, very, look the line of this toy, Jesus, is something, you know. I think only maybe the T-38 Talon F5F, the old F5F Tiger was, the Tiger II was nice like this one, was sleek like this one, but the Tiger II is a plane of the 60s and the 70s, you know. This is a plane that fly today, you know, and I think they are making something like this, like a brand new trainer I was reading for the US Air Force. So they have to improve probably the T-38 that is still in use in the, if you check in Flight Radar 24 and you go over America, there is sometimes the planes with the transponder turned on, and you can see that nearly always all over, for example, if you check the area of Nellis Air Force Base, the Nevada desert and so on, where they used to fly it very often, you find a lot of T-38. So this probably will be a nice improvement, also because the agility of the plane is incredibly higher and better. It's a modern plane, so it's something that have been made instead of 50 years ago, like the F5 T-38 was. These have been, let me guess, 20 years ago for the first version, and probably 10 years ago for the D, Gripen D, like this plane is, this model is. That's it. Then you have a wonderful, this is in my opinion very, very, this is something that really, if you like planes, is something. There's a technical drawing, you know, with the section of the fuselage, always printed in a wonderful quality, you know. This is really, really useful. This is a masterpiece documentation, you know, to add the detail. Scale metrico 1.48. Okay. Okay, it's written in Czech because I don't think that the original sub will provide you the original drawings for the plane. But it's a lovely work, really. You see, they made really, really lovely work. The under part of the plane, the upper part of the plane, all the side of the plane, really, really nice. I don't understand why they just provide the left side on the plane on both the, oh no, here it is also the right side. Okay, it was just the other that didn't have. Okay, you see, this one I just have the left and nothing under. Instead you have the left and the right side. So very, very nice and interesting. Also this part that we place it back in the manual section. You see, hobby manual is a book basically about the plane. And then let's go to the racing, you know, and the photo etcher part. This is the photo etcher, I think, provided probably by Edward, because they are the colored one. There is no symbol over. Best choice. No, they are made exactly for this box, you know. 2008 is the model, so it's a model of 15 years ago. With you see here you have all the instruments. It's very, very easy because just you use the inner part. Look how detailed it became when they are colored. This makes the life extremely simple, you know, when you are talking of modern planes. You see how detailed it is for both the dash, for the front and the seat, and the second seat. Very, very nice and detailed. Very, very nice. And the racing part, here they go. Here you have as I said, all the detail for the air brakes, they are incredibly well done, but as I said, in all the pictures that I've seen, despite they had, CNK made the same stuff for the F104, detailing the full air brake. This is an extra set that they also think they sell, Iris made it, but check the picture, I nearly never found them open on the ground, so if not, they have to clean them inside in purpose, so they just have turn it on the plane, open the stuff, clean it and close it again, so it's nearly never open in the pictures. This is the cockpit, plus the real critical point that I remember I had the same one. Indeed, I just bought the extra exhaust from Iris that nearly cost like all this model, if I knew it, for the single seater, because I plan for the Swedish Air Force to make them, to build the model. So this is something that will be built up by me in the future. Very nice racing seats. They are very similar to the F-18 Martin Baker. Probably they are copies of them produced under license in Sweden. The cockpit hub. Usually the CMK set fits better than the Iris set inside the model, and incredibly nice main landing gear bay. You see. Extremely cool. The pylons and the wheels. Every bag of this one, if you have to buy their own. Apart that they are not available, I try to search for the complete set just without the plastic. It is impossible to find, so you have to find this type of boxes, and they cost each of them will be around 20 to 25 euros each, so 25 plus 25 plus 25, you already make the price. This is the extremely nicely well done vacuum form canopy. It is the same type of canopy that I provided in my G91T 148 scale, so you have to know how to work with them. They are a little bit complicated to use, but the detail at the end is incredibly nice. And that is the metal landing gears with the cables on, with the brakes cable on, and then the ordinary, probably I don't dare to say the worst part, but the basic part of the model, the Italeri plastic, nothing more to say. This is the basic Jas39B that became the same model of the Jas39D. So it was the Czechoslovakian making all the racing modification to obtain a real D instead of a fake D like Italeri did. Look the difference with the exhaust pipe, seems like a Burago size pipe. Also they provide a model with opened. Why in hell every time opened air brakes that nobody ever uses, and that's it. For me the model is fantastic. I was so happy to find this. I promised myself not to buy any longer. As you follow me on the social media, I say I will not buy any new model. I will not buy any new model, but when this happens, when this comes to the opportunity to grab it, how can you say no to this? Tell me, if you like planes and so on, how can you say no to this? And even more in 148 scale and with this level of detail. Impossible to say no. It's absolutely a great model. Well done, MPM. Absolutely well done. Thanks for watching and see you in the next.